What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode. My name is Jewel Williams, and today we are going to be talking about communications and how it helps your brand through self-awareness. All right, let's get it on and poppin'. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope everybody is had. What kind of language is that? I'm supposed to be a communications major. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I am coming back at you with another video. I've been doing this now. I think four weeks. I think I have been consistently providing content, trying to improve my content, trying to make my content more meaningful so that you all can have a good experience. So what I want to talk about today is self-awareness, how it can build your brand and how you can communicate, how you communicate shapes your brand. So as most of you know, I'm a communications major, and my goal is to become a communications expert, not only by just how I communicate my messages to you, but also helping you communicate your messages out to the world. So I got a few notes. So you're going to see me looking over here at my notes to try to keep me focused on what exactly I want to tell you guys. So first off, I want to say that everything you say, what you wear, how you walk, how you talk, your tone, your face, all of that is communicating a message to somebody at some point. And we spend a lot of our time in the workplace, okay? So most of the time you're communicating with people in your job. And sometimes you can communicate things you may not want to say, and you may be doing that with body language. But we all have a brand, okay? With social media today, we all are self-publishers. Let's just face it. The days of a brand just being Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or any of those things, over, okay? We all have a brand. And so how we are communicating that brand is important, because we want, if we have ambition to be a leader, be a politician, be a business owner, be a supervisor, be a manager, or just be a well-rounded person, that's your brand, okay? And how you articulate that brand through what you wear, through your style. Like right now, I'm a very handsy person. So, I try not to, but I'm a very handsy person. I like to communicate with my hands. And so people know, people might consider that animated, but it doesn't matter. So what I want to talk about today is how we can improve our brand by improving our communication through self-awareness. Okay. So what is a brand exactly? Like, we know Pepsi's a brand. Okay. They talk about it. It's refreshing. It helps quench our thirst. Sometimes it helps us just wash down a good pizza, but it's a brand. Okay. Coca-Cola, a brand. This camera I'm using, by what is this camera? I can't even Elgato. It's Elgato face cam. That's a brand, okay? My MacBook, phones, all those are brand, but so am I. I'm a brand. How I articulate my words is a part of my brand. How I express myself is a part of my brand. How I carry myself, my tone and everything, all that is a part of my brand. So what exactly is a brand? Well, according to Hubert K Rampersad and his book, 2015 book, he defines a brand. I'm going to read it off the screen. A brand is the expectation, the image, and perceptions it creates in the minds of others when they see or hear your name or see your logo. Okay, so at work, if you're out one day and somebody says, "Hey, where's Susie, Joe, Jeff?" Okay, oh, yeah, they might be out today, but your name pulls forward images of the type of person you are. Okay. And that is a part of your workplace brand. When you're at home with family, you have a brand. Okay. So technology is giving us the permission to publish our brand through our social media accounts on Instagram. We share photos about what we're doing, our family, our outings. And if we are building a business, like myself, building a following, building content, I post that on my Instagram account so that I can build my brand. Now, as someone who is a communicator slash solopreneur, my brand is, it's all one big happy family, right? Yet bigger corporations, when you have like your CEO of Coca-Cola, they have a personal brand, okay, that's separate from their company brand, okay? Because like myself, I'm all in one, whereas they're separating. So how we communicate our brand shapes who we are and how people perceive us. So the way you conduct yourself at work and with your peers is also impacts your brand. So if you are disgruntled all the time, you're argumentative all the time, if you're late all the time, if you're somebody who negates your responsibility at work, you're communicating something to your peers and your coworkers. Not a good message, but you are communicating something. Okay. If you're prompt all the time, you're communicating something. You're communicating that you're going to be there. No matter what, you're going to be on time. Okay. If you are always helping people at work, you're communicating, I'm a good helper. Okay. Now, as we progress in our careers, and I don't, some people like myself, I'm making a career change. Okay. So I've gotten to a point where I am changing my brand. Okay. From truck driver, somebody who is looked at as I drive 18 wheelers and deliver packages and pallets to people, to somebody who is teaching, coaching, inspiring, helping them become a better self, a better version of themselves. So my brand was, or it's actually still is, but my brand was focused more on 9 to 5, laborer, truck driver, so forth. And now it's shifting over to teacher, influencer, coach, speaker, solopreneur. Okay. So I'm wearing multiple hats right now. But so how I got here, how I got to this place is through one aspect of self-awareness. So what is self-awareness? I became aware of I became aware of self-awareness when I began my journey to sobriety. And on that journey, I began to realize I had to look inward. I had to be mindful of my thoughts. I had to be mindful of my triggers, my tone, my attitude, what was going on here in my head and in my heart that influenced my actions. Okay. So according to the APA, self-awareness is when we become mindful and recognize that inner self of us, who we are as a person. Okay. And that doesn't happen overnight. Now, of course, becoming aware of self or beginning the journey is something that you can do right away. But today I want to talk to you about some tips to help you develop your self-awareness so that you can be a better communicator that will help shape your brand. Okay, so some tips to improve your self-awareness and help you be a better communicator for your personal brand. So first off, start paying attention to your thoughts. Okay, what's in your mind? You know that commercial, what's in your wallet? What's in your mind? Are you thinking negativity all day? Are you feeling disgruntled and just kind of, you know, eyeballing people with this sense of I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you. What are you thinking about? Okay? Are you thinking about what you got to do when you get home? Are you thinking about who's picking up my kids? Are you thinking about what's my husband doing? What's my wife doing? Are you thinking about whether the bills are coming due? Do I have enough hours to cover my bills? Do I have enough money in the bank account to cover the money that I spent this weekend? I mean, what are you thinking about? Because your thoughts dictate your behavior. And your behavior is a part of your communication. So if you're having these thoughts that are causing fear, anxiety, they are unsettling in your spirit, then that is how you're going to communicate throughout the day. Because it begins in your mind, in your mindset, right? So ask yourself throughout the day, what's going on up here? Let me give you an example. So I'm a truck driver, like I said, and the other day, I'm riding down the road, I'm driving, okay? So I usually play music, and I get, just to kind of get a good vibe, right? And a car cuts in front of me. Boom. Okay, nothing unusual for me. Now, if my mind was in a negative place, all kinds of things could have popped off. Cussing, ranting, raving, beeping my horn, all that energy, all that static. Okay, my favorite thing, talking about energy, right? I love talking about energy and how thoughts are energy. It has to move somewhere. It cannot be created or destroyed. So you're just pulling it out of here and pushing it over there all the time, right? So because I was intentionally thinking thoughts, positive thoughts, peaceful thoughts, okay? When that person cut in front of me, it didn't bother me. Like, okay, another day, keep it moving, okay? So that energy just pass, okay? Are you making up negative stories in your mind? Okay? For example, there's been moments I think about a situation that's about to happen. Okay? I'm preparing for something, whether it be a meeting with a boss, whether it be I'm about to walk into a store and ask for my money back or complain about my food, whatever the case may be. Okay? And at times, I'll visualize how I want that to play out. So there are times you might be visualizing how you want something to play out. Maybe you have to have a discussion with your spouse or your significant other or boyfriend or whoever about they overspent on the bank account, right? Or they forgot to put the dishes in the dishwasher and turn the dishwasher on, or whatever the case may be. And you're trying to come up with how to approach that person. And so you start thinking about, how's that conversation going to go? Well, do you think it's going to go in a negative way? Do you start putting in like, oh, it's going to be a fight? oh, I'm going to have to tell them this. I'm going to tell them that. I'm going to have to wrestle with them. Are you thinking about that? Are you thinking about, you know what? I'm just going to make the mention, hey, I noticed you forgot the dishwasher today, babe. You know, how are you thinking about that conversation? Because that is how the conversation will go. Guaranteed. If you're thinking about the conversation going smooth, okay, or better yet, how about not put any expectation on the conversation? How about just saying, I need to have that conversation. And then put in a peaceful thought, okay? Tell yourself this is going to go smooth as butter, okay? So how you tell the story is how the story will end. Guaranteed every time, okay? So that's one thing. Make the story a positive story. And then when you do have something come out the way you wanted to, make note of it. Say, you know what, that's pretty good. I like the way I handled that one. Pat yourself on the back. Make note of it. Because now that's a check mark and a tool that you can use consistently going forward. Okay? So that's what you want to do. Make sure that your thoughts and your thinking are in a calm, cool, collective format. Okay? Don't get yourself all like anxious and of anxiety. Too much energy being had. Okay? So the next thing you want to talk about is become aware of your emotions during your experiences. Okay? Throughout the day. So as a self-aware practitioner, I'm going to call it self-awareness practitioner. I like that. Self-awareness practitioner. Oh, that sounds good. Okay. As a self-awareness practitioner, you want to pay attention to your emotions. Okay. How are you feeling when you get up in the morning? How are you feeling when you walk out the door to go to work? How are you feeling in traffic? How are you feeling when you go to the store? How are you feeling when you pick up the kids? How are you feeling when you pick up the husband? How do you just do a feelings and emotions check? Okay. And guys, I know sometimes this might be a little bit challenging for you guys, but I want you to just experiment with it. Get in touch with what is feeling, what that emotion is about. Okay. Are you waking up in the morning automatically? You just cussing. Guess what? That is pretty much how your day is going to be. Cussing, fussing. Okay. If you're waking up being like, man, oh yeah, I'm stretching. Oh, I got a good night's rest. Oh, yeah, I feel good. You know, my back feel good. Let me go get me some breakfast, some coffee. Let me just welcome in the day. You know, let me just hear the sound of silence for a while before I start banging around in the kitchen and whatnot. Trust and believe your day is going to continue that way. Okay, so pay attention to your emotions when you're driving. Okay, ask yourself, is the music I'm playing pissing me off? I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't listen to rap. I can't listen to rap. It bothers me. Okay, the rap today just ain't the rap of yesterday. Matter of fact, not even just rap. I mean, there's a lot of songs I just can't even listen to. I was letting my Amazon Music. You know how it just rotates. And it just plays, you know, after you listen to maybe an album, you're just like, oh, you know what, whatever pops up, I'm just going to listen to. There were 2 songs that came on, and I don't even know the person's name, but it was F this, F that, F this, F that, and it wasn't rap. It was some poppy something. And don't play me that. Don't play me that. I don't want to hear that. Because even though I wasn't listening, it was irritating my energy. I felt it. It's like somebody scribbling on a piece of paper. Okay? I didn't like it. So pay attention to the music you're listening to. What type of talk shows are you listening to? And when you hear them, what are you listening for? How are you perceiving that information? Okay? Because the filter is here. The sounds coming in, like my voice coming in, you see the visual coming in. Some of you might be listening to this on my podcast, some of the, however you're consuming this right now. But just be aware of what you're listening to. What are you sending into your brain and the message you're sending into your brain to take care of your well-being. Okay. One of my favorite sayings, okay, from way back. This is when computers, you didn't, there was no Windows 95. Okay. I know I'm dating myself. But my favorite saying is garbage in, garbage out. So if you're putting garbage in, you're going to get garbage out when you communicate, whether that be physical communication, whether that be facial communication, verbal or nonverbal. Okay. So pay attention to the messages you're receiving. Take a moment and find some good podcasts to just fill you with some enlightenment, with some information that improves your brand, like watching this right now. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share, and like, comment. I love all that. Okay. So, but pay attention to what you are putting in your mind, because that impacts how you communicate and affects your brand. Okay. Also, what are you feeling when you walk into work? Do you like your job? Are you happy with your bosses? All of that is about how you communicate. Okay. A good example. I had a boss, many bosses, but I had a boss one time that every time I saw them, just knots in my stomach, and just, my breath just, restricted. It was just painful. Okay. Absolutely painful. And I know I communicated that in my posture. I communicated that, I'm sure, at my desk. My facial expressions when they were talking to me, probably rolled my eyes a few times. So just pay attention to your emotions throughout the day, and how that's impacting your work performance, how that's impacting how you're communicating with people, how you're communicating with your boss, how you're communicating with your coworkers, how you communicate with your customers even. Okay. Pay attention to all those things, because all of that impacts and influences how people perceive your brand at work. Okay. So, another one, it was observe how you react to comments. Okay. For example, let's say somebody says, "Oh, how you doing, Joe? Hey, you're looking kind of slim today. Oh, you working out? Are you like, why are they staring at me? Why are they looking at me? Why are they asking me these questions?" Or are you like, "Oh, thank you. I'm not working out, but I appreciate the compliment." Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, if somebody comes up to you and asks you to do something, "Hey, Sally, would you mind doing this?" Are you like, "I'm tired of them asking me. Why are they always going to ask me? Why can't?" Or are you like, "Yeah, sure, I got you. What you need?" Because all that is a part of your brand. Okay. And then ask yourself, if you are getting disgruntled when somebody asks you something, ask yourself why. Like, why do I keep asking like that? That's a part of self-awareness. That's a part of paying attention to your emotions, to your thinking. Okay. And that is how you're communicating your brand. Every time you respond to someone, it's a form of communication and about your brand. All right. So now another one, find time to sit quietly. Now, I touched on this in the beginning, when you wake up in the morning, just kind of sitting with yourself. But sometimes in the middle of the day, everything has been coming at you. If you work in the office, the phone was ringing, the boss was asking for papers, customers were disgruntled. Me as a driver, dealing with traffic, dealing with messed up pallets, or having to go find the person who's supposed to receive the freight. Maybe they're at lunch or something like that. You might need a time to just sit after all that and just sit in quiet. What I like to do sometimes when I'm, waiting for my truck to get unloaded, I like to just turn off my truck, roll up the windows, just sit quiet. Just let my thoughts go. What am I thinking? How am I feeling? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling bad? What's going on here? Give myself some deep breaths. You know, my dad likes to say, take 3 deep breaths. Blow it out. Take another one. Blow it out. One more. Hold it. Blow it out. No, you're not smoking nothing. But just that. It's just the pressure letting go. So in the middle of your day, if you're having a rough day, maybe you just got in it with a coworker about something of a project and you didn't like the way they were making the decision, or you didn't like the way that they were interrupting you constantly, or you don't like the way that somebody spoke to you, because they were having a bad day. Whatever the case may be, you might need to decompress. So find a quiet place. If you got to go to your car, walk to your car and be like, oh, I'm just going to walk to my car real quick, take a minute. And I just want to hear quiet. Okay? Become comfortable with your thoughts. That's a great way to develop your self-awareness. Okay? It's a great way to start reflecting upon who you are. What is your brand? What is your brand communicating? Okay? If you're wanting to move up and move around in the world, into companies and so forth, these are the things that are going to make you successful. These are the things that are going to bring about positive change, a mind shift. Okay? Being self-aware and paying attention to who you are. Now, a trick that I like to use when I do my meditations, and I learned this, through listening to some tape. But I love looking up at the sky. I just love watching the clouds roll across the sky, or even just a clear sky, and then sometimes a cloudy sky. I just love observing the sky. It just fascinates me. So when you got a lot of thoughts going through your head, and you're trying to find out you're trying to dig deep. What's bothering me? Okay? So picture the clouds kind of rolling across. When you visualize a break in the clouds, focus on it. Freeze. And then let them keep rolling. Because your thoughts are like clouds rolling past. Okay? So a lot of times we can't stop those thoughts, but you're sitting quiet. Just let them roll on past. Just let them roll on past. And then there's a break. You're not thinking about anything. Hold on to it as long as you can. And then let it go. Okay? That's a great way to become self-aware. And you start reflecting. And you're going to feel emotions. Engage those emotions. It's okay to feel. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And heck, sometimes they might bring a tear or two. And sometimes they'll bring anger. Sometimes they'll bring frustration. Sometimes they'll bring anxiety. Breathe. Okay? But what you're doing with all these exercises, these tips are about helping you become self-aware so that you can improve your brand and how it communicates, how you communicate your brand out to the workplace, out to the people in your workplace. Okay? So, last one I want to go over is start being mindful of how your home environment influences your work environment and vice versa. Okay? So, I started doing this years ago. Okay? Visualizing. When I would go into work, I used to visualize. I had 2 big bags, 2 invisible bags right here. Okay? And I would drop those bags at the door where I worked. Right before I opened the door, visualize, drop those bags. All those bags was my home environment. Okay? And I said, nope, I'm not going to take these into work. Drop them right here. Boop. All right? And walk in the door. And when I was in that office, that's what I dealt with. Okay? When I would get out of the office, I would visualize picking up my bags and I go home. And then when I get home, I didn't do it all the time, because especially if I had a bad day, but drop those bags from work at the front door. Let them sit there until you get ready to go back to work the next day. Okay? So ask yourself how work is influencing home and how is home influencing work. Okay? And you might want to start bagging them up. So work stuff, stuff it in that bag, leave it at the door on your way back to work. But don't bring it in the house. And the same thing. Whatever's going on home, stuff it in that bag. And leave that bag sitting at the door when you walk into work. Okay? Because you could be influenced, and the way you communicate your brand, it's coming out from what you're bringing from one environment into the other. So if you got in a fight, or the kids didn't do right, the dog pooped on the floor, or what have you, all that stuff is impacting, influencing how you're talking to people, because you might hear something that triggers, like, oh, that's right, so just ask yourself, do I need to, what's triggering this? Okay? People trigger us because of what's going on up here. We relate to things. We connect with things. My example of the bags, it's trying to connect to you to think of your home environment issues and putting them in the bag. I'm trying to give you that visual. So we relate to things and we respond to visuals. So a lot of times we need to be mindful of what is going on right up in this space, okay? How we're talking, how we're communicating to ourselves up in here. All of that impacts our brand, believe it or not, okay? And we communicate that out throughout the day. And when we become more self-aware, we become better communicators and more peaceful inside. Okay? So, may not seem like these things, influence, but when you start to pay attention, you'll start to go, oh, wow, yeah. Oh, man, I never realized I was thinking that way, So, I wanted to bring all this information to you guys. So this week, if you want to take on an assignment, be more self-aware to help your brand communicate better. Okay? I'm telling you, you're going to feel so much better when you do this. And drop a comment. If you take this challenge, if you take the self-awareness challenge, I'm going to label this self-awareness challenge. Okay? If you take the self-awareness challenge all week long, be mindful, pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to how you interact with the people around you, the emotions that you have with the people around you, how your home environment has influencing your work environment, and how your work environment is influencing your home environment, okay? And taking the time to have a peaceful moment by yourself in the quiet. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, okay? Just let the clouds of thoughts roll on by. Find the space. If you take that challenge, tell me how you feel at the end of the week, okay? Drop me a comment. I got my social media stuff in here, but drop me a comment and let me know how it went for you, and I hope that this information helps you build a better brand through self-awareness and you become a better communicator in your brand. All right. Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you next week. Can I get some music? Let's see. Ooh, I like that. Gotta slow it down. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, people. I'm going to peace out. Peace.